What's going on, everybody? This is Rich from Gaming on the Budget, the channel that reviews free or cheap games with the hopes of recommending you some dope shit. So real quick, I want to apologize for not doing a video in a long time. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back and I'm trying to get things more consistent. I've been doing streams to give you guys some kind of content and, mostly playing Warframe. Feel free to check those out. I'm going to start dropping episodes of the little storyline I'm developing, but anyway. Let's talk about today's review, which is going to be on the game War Thunder. So real quick, I want to shout out one of my subscribers, Amateur Editor, for telling me about this game a while ago. He asked me to review this game, and I promised I would. So here it is. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the facts. So the genre of the game is an MMO military game developed and published by Gaijin Entertainment, actually the same developers that did Cuisine Royale and Crossout. Released back in 2012 as an open beta, but officially released in 2017. Created on the Dagora engine. Platforms you can play this on include Windows, Linux, Mac, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS5. And the most important question on this channel, is it cross-platform compatible? Yes, it is. So let's talk about the gameplay. So in a nutshell, War Thunder is an MMO military vehicular combat game where players can fight it out on land, sea, and in the air. The actual planes, ships, and tanks in the game are taken from the same vehicles from actual battles from before World War II up until the present time. The game brags that the vehicles are historically accurate in the appearance, which is pretty dope. Players can control warships, ground vehicles, and aircraft from the United States, Russia, Germany, Britain, and Japan. They can even use nations with smaller militaries like France or China. Whether it's on the ground or in the water or even in the sky, it's up to players to defend their objective and wipe out their enemies in the game War Thunder. So I've had this game for a large amount of time and I just wanted to check it out and give you guys some notes that I had on it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these facts. So the first point, the visuals. So I'm going to be honest, the visuals in the game are definitely not the highlight of the game. However, this makes sense if you remember my review on Crossout. I said the same thing. Just like Crossout, the terrain in War Thunder is not the best looking graphically. You definitely have some diverse terrain with gameplay taking place on land, in the ocean, and in the air. But overall, the quality is not the best. I can say the same for the actual vehicles you can play with. They look decent enough though. Like I mentioned in the Crossout, the focus of the game is not the graphics, but the actual mechanics. I'll be honest, there's a lot going on in the mechanics departments for War Thunder, so I feel like we can let it slide. So, perfect segue, let's go ahead and talk about the mechanics. So just like I said, there's a whole lot to talk about, so let's get started. Let's go ahead and talk about the game modes. So in this military war game, there are different game modes that are characterized by the unit type of the battle. There's aviation or sky, which includes fixed wing aircrafts and helicopters, ground, which includes your tanks and similar vehicles, and then there's fleet, which is over the water. Fleet is split between blue water, which uses ships that are larger, like destroyers or battleships. Coastal uses smaller ships like motorboats and stuff. Within those different areas of play, there are different types of battles to play in. So you have arcade battle, which is more fast paced but easier gameplay as there are several things that aid the players. For instance, vehicles have higher engine power and seeing where enemies are on the map. Also, there's things like damage models and physics that are hugely simplified. Then you have realistic battles, which compared to arcade battles, have a slower pace. In this type, all vehicles have historic characteristics like climb rate and turn rate for planes. Essentially, the game mode is harder because it's more realistic. So things like enemy markers not showing up on your radar and having to land your plane just to reload are things you can expect from this game mode. So let's talk about the shooting and movement. So no surprise, shooting and movement are going to be specific to the vehicle you use, but I still have some to talk about here. So one of the first modes I tried was flying, and this was actually not too bad. Shooting is a bit difficult because your targets are constantly moving. However, the game helps you with this mechanic called lead angle. So basically you shoot a bit ahead of your target for your bullets to land. This is mad helpful and actually pretty clutch in a fight. Flying was not too bad. I do suggest that you look at the tutorial in the game before jumping straight into it. Next, I tried on the ground with tanks, and this was actually not bad. This part really reminded me of Crossout, and I'm sure they used some of the same code or mechanics or whatever. Moving around was pretty familiar, and shooting was almost exactly the same as Crossout, so I have no complaints. The last game mode, which was in the water, was probably my least favorite, to be honest. You're on a boat, so movement wise you aren't as free as being in the sky or on the ground, but definitely makes sense, right? It was a bit slower paced for me, but I do like the different weapons you have. So you can shoot torpedoes, which is dope. You also have like these ballistic missiles that you can shoot, and you even have gunners on your ships to shoot down planes and stuff. Overall movement and shooting in the game were decent for what this is. Alright, so you know what time it is. Let's talk about the highlights. So I think for me, War Thunder's biggest playing card is the realism they include in the game. Using historic tanks, planes, and boats from multiple past wars is a dope thing to do. This might be a turn on for history buffs or just anyone in general who likes like war games. Even the idea of using vehicles' actual turn speed to recreate its real life stats is pretty impressive. Not to mention that you can do all three game modes in one game. You usually have to play a airplane game or a tank game, but the fact that they just said fuck it and rolled it all into one is actually pretty awesome. So shout out to them. Final thoughts, War Thunder is not a bad game. I'm not that much into games like this, but I can see where people can have a lot of fun with it, and not gonna lie, I had some fun myself. Graphically, the game is not the best, but that's not where the real value is, like I mentioned earlier. Personally, I'll probably just stick to the tanks and the plane modes, but the fact that people have the choice is pretty dope. My final rating of War Thunder, I'll have to give it a 7.5 out of 10, which is not bad at all. My advice, if you're into realistic war games and want to be able to battle tanks, planes, and boats, then you should give War Thunder a try. But as always, I want to hear, what do y'all think? Have you played War Thunder? Are you going to give it a chance? Are you going to fight on the ground, in the sky, or in the water? What do you think? Arcade mode versus realistic mode. Which one are you guys going for? Let me know. I want to hear all that in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and drop a like. And if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe. Videos on a weekly basis, including game streams that I'm doing now. Again, trying to make videos more on a consistent basis. Sorry for being absent, but you know, life happens. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for checking out the channel and leaving love on the channel. Really appreciate it. More videos to come, and yeah, appreciate it, guys. So also, guys, really quick, I want to say something. There's this dude that I guess recently subscribed to my channel by the name of Xboxfcontent. He dropped some really dope comments saying that, I'm at 300 subs, which I'm grateful for, but he says I need more. And you can see some of the stuff we had here, and he was saying like, he basically wanted to make a video about me, and he actually did. Yo, I'm touched, man. I really am fortunate and appreciative of you guys. And honestly, I never thought anything like that would happen. Like some dude actually kind of made a video to tribute to me. But I'm gonna link it here in the subscription. But yo, Xboxfcontent, yo, keep doing your thing. And yeah, we're definitely gonna collab in the future. But yeah, thanks again so much, man. I really appreciate it. And just all you guys, real talk, like, thank you guys. I know I've been lacking as far as the videos, but stuff like this kind of gets me like pumped up again. So yeah, more videos on the way. But again, just want to thank you guys, and shout out to Xboxfcontent. But anyways, this is Rich from Gaming on the Budget, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.